Hello guys, what's going on? This is YouTube here. We're gonna talk about Valheim. I wish I didn't do that. I'm sorry. Okay. So coming off of Valheim from that's going in the video too. Fucking when did I play Valheim? Shit. When did I play Valheim? I probably finished it last week and a half ago. Okay, so recently came out from Valheim. This is the review that I'm doing. My I forgot what I'm calling them. My freeform review, where I just talk, no footage, no nothing. It's literally just me. We're gonna have the Twitch chat going, so if anything comes up, fuck it, we ball. Okay. So I recently got done with Valheim, and first off, I'm surprised that I made it as far as I did. Also disclaimer, heavily modded. Okay, so modded that it's probably not even Valheim anymore. So any vanilla enthusiasts, any purists, get fucked, because that's not what this video is gonna be. And the thing is with Valheim is that I feel like because. No, I'll just go into this. I'll go into this I'll just go into this right now. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to mod it is because I played it like a super long time ago. I always modded it. I modded it then, and I want to mod it now because the mods were amazing. And for whatever reason, it's like I would compare it to like playing a Bethesda game, where like you have to mod it. At that point, it's like it's in the culture. And Valheim is a little different though, because the game is pretty good not modded. But the problem with the mods is that they were too good. The mods were fucking amazing. The main one I got was the epic loot. The epic loot mod. Holy shit. Okay. I don't know who made that mod. I don't know the mod author by the top of my head. Whoever made Epic Loot knows what they're doing. And it showed up in a way where like it felt so embedded in the game so well, where it felt like it was part of the game. And like I had like other like quality of life mods, and I think I had some like modded aesthetics for like structures, and then I had like Valheim Plus. So the problem with playing with those mods is that I got so used to them because they fit so well into the game. I played with the default settings. I played whatever the mods default settings were, and I don't know why, but I feel like Epic Loot should be part of the game. I feel like it fits so well. And the thing is, there were so many enchantments, and I'm a person that loves to build craft. I absolutely love to build craft. And so the problem is that like I was thinking about it, and I was like can you really you can kind of build craft in vanilla Valheim, but not really. Like you have armor sets, but that's it. But what Epic Loot does is it treats it more like Skyrim, where you can enchant your armor, enchant your weapon. You can literally enchant everything. And I was fucking loving it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a build for this. I was like doing like theory crafting, and I was like, okay, this game is gonna make me go make the armor and put a specific build. Albeit I didn't end up doing that because I just didn't feel like it. Literally, that's it. I did try out a lot of the stuff. And we'll kind of run through what the game is and kind of like how it plays. Okay, so for the uninitiated, Valheim, it is a very pixelated art style, third-person survival game set in the Norse mythology. Or the Norse mythology universe, whatever. So typical survival stuff. You got no clothes. You don't know where you're at. You don't know what's going on. The lowest enemy fucks you a few times. You know, that's kind of what happens. So and then how it plays, like it's like other survival games where you build your base, you go hunt for loot, or you go get loot, you go get you get a farm set up, you get a house set up, all that good stuff. What I enjoyed a lot about Valheim is that the progression on it, you always knew what was going to happen next. Whereas like other games where they kind of have you depend on exploration to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Valheim, very clearly off the jump, you spawn in. So every time you enter a new world, you're brought in by the crow, who is like your guide. He'll pop up every now and then whenever there's new stuff to learn, and he'll be like, hey, here's how this works. Or he'll give you a hint of like, oh, maybe you got to put something inside it. So he drops you down, and he drops you right in the middle of this set of rocks, these statues that are in a circle. And each one of those is correlating to a boss. And so like there's how much bosses there? 6, 7 as of now. So right off the jump, you can see what your objective is, get each boss or defeat each boss. And then so you build your base, do your thing, collect your gear, and then once you feel like you're ready, you go challenge the boss. And usually the bosses, so like the first one is like it's like Eikthyr, I think is how you say it. It's like a deer god. That's why I called it. It's a deer that shoots lightning. Like, come on, how's that not a deer god? And so how you spawn them, like you have to like look around the map for like these little markers that pinpoint on your map. Like they'll add a point on your map, like, hey, here's where his spawner is at. And then when you get there, it'll show you like try to summon the boss, and it'll be like, oh, here's a hint, and the hint will be like sacrifice his kin. So it's a deer god. Go kill deer, get their heads, sacrifice. So you do that, you kill him, and then it gives you an item, and then now like, okay, I can make new things out of the deer god's like materials, and then now you know what to do next, because the entire game up until before you kill the deer god, you can't mine metal, but the deer god, he drops his antler, which is a starter pickaxe to go get metal. Now you're in the metal age, whereas before you were in the stone age. So now you start getting metal, start getting your copper, start getting your tin, combine it together, you get bronze. You get bronze gear. And then you're like, okay, cool. And where you get metal from is the next biome, which is the amount of progression, because you start in the meadows. You fight the deer god in the meadows. I think this is so fucking cool. This is amazing. I love how they do this. So you fight the deer god in the meadows, which is the starter area, which is super chill. There's not really much enemies, nothing there. And then the next biome where you have to go to get metal from is called the Black Forest. Each biome that you enter has extremely different materials, extremely different enemies. The enemy variety is actually pretty fucking good. I love the enemy variety in Valheim. I love how the biomes work, how you enter them. Okay, so you go from the meadows to the Black Forest. You get your metal gear, and then you fight the Elder, which is like a tree god. You're gonna hear God a lot, okay? So suck it, atheists. So you fight the corresponding boss to the biome, and as you keep going through these biomes, progression also gets slower, because you have to now like going from the meadows to the Black Forest, super fast. Going from the Black Forest to the swamp, you're going to be in the swamp for a while, because there's a high chance that your swamp is probably on another island, on another like piece of land, like a continent or like a country. So now you're like, okay, I got this metal gear. I could start mining these trees, these special trees that were too hard for my normal pickaxe. And then when you get the wood from there, it's like, okay, here's all the new shit you can make. You can make a new bow. You can make new crafting materials, new crafting benches. bench upgrades, and then you can also make a boat. And you're like, okay, well then I need to start sailing, and then you start sailing, and me personally, sailing was cool, and then it started getting kind of annoying, and now I'm like, I feel like sailing is kind of like padding the game time. That's just me personally, because it started getting to a point where I was like, okay, let's go sailing, and then you sit there, and like the sailing mechanic is pretty cool. What I like about it is that depending where the wind direction, you have to change where your sail is facing, and so that like corresponds to your speed, and so that was super cool. But after a while, it's kind of like, okay, let's go sailing. Let's go. I gotta go all the way over here. And let me tell you, the world is fucking huge. This world is massive. Literally, when you pull up the map, it's a globe. It's literally a globe. It's a 2D globe, and it's probably as big as it, because there's no way you can clear the fog of war from the map unless you're like an ultra elitist, sweaty nerd, try hard. I play Valheim nonstop on the same world, no matter what. I don't know what you're doing at that point. Okay, so that's kind of how progression works, and I think is super fucking cool. So you go from the meadows to the Black Forest, for the Black Forest, to, because the elder in the Black Forest, which is the corresponding boss, he drops a swamp key to get into these I think it's like abandoned mines or abandoned dungeon that's inside the swamp. And so you go into the swamp, and then you get a new kind of metal. You get a new kind, you start getting iron scrap, and then you have to smelt it back. And then you have to get iron scrap, and then you have to take it back, you have to smelt it down. And then from there, you have to fight it's called Bone Mass, which is like the boss of the swamp. And I'm kind of saying how the progression works. That's kind of how we're just, I guess we're just kind of on that topic right now. So we're doing so progression. You fight the Bone Mass, which is super. Okay, let me. I should probably describe these bosses too. Sorry, I'm all over the place. This is how these reviews go. This is literally just free form. I'm literally just explaining what I like about it, what I don't like about it. The game is fucking cool. Okay, so the deer god is basically a big deer. Okay, he's just a really big deer. He got big old antlers. He shoots lightning out of him. It's pretty cool. The elder. So in the Black Forest, you're gonna fight a lot of these things called Greylings, Grey Dwarfs, Grey Dwarf Shaman, and Grey Dwarf Brute. I think that's what they're called. But they're basically like, imagine like sentient roots, and they hate you, and they want to smack you. That's basically what it is. So if you imagine just sentient roots, like a bundle of roots about man size, some are smaller, some are bigger. That's kind of what they have. The Grey Dwarfs, they throw rocks at you and they smack you. The Grey Dwarf Shamans, they do a healing cloud to all the enemies around them, and they do a poison cloud to you. It's kind of like a Palpatine hands. And then there's the Brutes, which they just have a big old club and they smack the shit out of you. So there's those guys. You'll find the occasional skeletons in there. You'll find the occasional trolls. There's these big ass trolls, and they'll kind of fuck you up if you like. You kind of have to respect them, which I think is super cool. That whenever you encounter a new biome, is that you kind of have to respect the enemies, because they will fuck you up. Like you get DPS checked like in a new biome all the time. It gets pretty gnarly, like how easy stuff can fuck you up. Okay, so you imagine the roots. Okay, so the elder is basically like a 30-foot tall like tree. It's kind of like an ent, you know, like from like Lord of the Rings. It's like one of the tree ents. That's actually like a really good description of what I would say the elder is. And then he has what is the attacks? He has like he summons a thing of roots. He has a stomp, and then he has like this thing where he like shoots roots out of his hands. So there's him, and then you go into the swamp, and then you get the items to sacrifice at the altar for the bone mass, and the bone mass is just an amalgamation of bones and sludge, and that's basically what it is. I call him a goo man, or like a goo pile, or like some hot goopage. That's kind of what I've always called him. So he drops that, or you kill him, and then he drops the wishbone. Yeah, I think he drops the wishbone. You use the wishbone to look for silver in the snow biome. And fucking, I remember Xavier, he was like, what the fuck? So I didn't know for the longest time that how one biome will prep you for the next one. So when you're in the swamp, you get ingredients for a frost resistance potion. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, there's probably an enemy that does frost damage, you know? Like, that's kind of, okay. And so I didn't know it was actually prepping me for the snow area, because when you go into the snow biome, which is the next one after the swamp, you take frost damage just by being there, because it's cold. You get a status effect. It's called freezing. I didn't know. It took me a while, and I was like, you know what is this camera? You good? Camera keeps like, maybe I'm moving around too much. I finally took the potion. I was like, do you know what? Like, I wonder if this will just like negate all frost damage. And I took it, and next thing you know, I was in the snow biome completely fine. I was like, why didn't I do this before? And then it kind of made me rethink how progression works in the game, where I started thinking, okay, so if one thing is preparing me for the next, like the game was like training me essentially. It was training me like one biome leads to the next, because it made sense, because you get the your starter pickaxe in the meadows to use in the Black Forest, and then you get the key from the Black Forest to use in the swamp. You get the wishbone and the frost resistance potion to use in the snow area, and so on and so on and so on. And so I was like, okay, like now I'm starting to understand how like progression like really works in this game. And usually what you want to try to do is since each biome kind of has like a new set of gear that's better than the last, you kind of always want to get as much as you can, because the boss is usually pretty tough. So when you get to the snow biome, you want to get silver gear, which is like, I think like the top like metal of the snow biome. And then you have to find dragon eggs to fight Motor, I think, and I think it's like mother in translation, but it's a dragon. It's like a not dragon, sorry, it's a wyvern. So you fight the dragon, and then that gives you dragon tears. I think that's what it gives you. It gives you dragon tears, or some, I forgot what the material is called. And I think that gets you, I'm trying to remember. I think that gets you, fuck, what is it? Does it give you the blast furnace? I think it gives you the blast furnace, so that way you can smell the metal that's in the plains, which is the next biome in after the snow area. I know a lot of explaining, but it just like it's so in depth, and it's like, I love how the game makes predictable progression, because then it kind of trains you to know what to expect, and it trains you to like, okay, so now I know how to progress. I know what's next for me. I know what to do. And which is like kind of a big thing that survival games kind of do, but not really. One big one that I kind of harp on, or like I would compare that did it negatively, I think Ark Survival Evolved, they don't really kind of lead you in the direction. They kind of like depend on you to like explore. I think that's one that doesn't really kind of nudge you in the direction. Whereas like Valheim, there's always like you're getting like your little bird. He's coming in. He's like, hey, this is how you use your thing. Um, and then you kind of find like the map markers for the bosses. So there's always like a way for you to go, and I think it's super nice for a survival game to do that. But they don't like tell you outright. They're just like they give you hints and they let you figure it out. Which I was always trying to figure stuff out. I never looked anything up. I never um like my friend Xavier, he would ask me, he's like, "Oh, do you want me to tell you how to do this?" I'm like, "No, I want to learn on my own." How to spawn bosses. I wanted to learn on my own because they don't tell you what you need to spawn the boss. They just give you like a vague hint and then you got to kind of figure it out. So I was really trying to like learn on my own and see what the game equips me with to be able to kind of think like, okay, what's in the biome that I haven't used? And that most of the time, that's what's gonna get you your that's what's gonna get you spawning the boss. Um okay, so after the snow biome, I believe you reach the plains, which was I think the end game spot for when the game came out. I think, if I'm correct. The plains is literally what you think it sounds like. It's the plains, but there is so much goblinos. There's hella goblins, and they will fuck you. And this is why I think it was the first end game spot when the game came out, because I spent so much time in these plains because there's just so much shit to do. There was a ton of metal to get. There was like the camps. I think the main part of why I spent so much time is because I had to visit probably like 5 or 6 different plains, plain areas to figure out where the boss was at. Because for the longest time, I didn't have the little locator to find the boss, and I didn't know where he spawned, and so that especially took really long to figure out how or where he was at. But once I was able to find him, I was able to mop him up pretty easily because at that point I had collected so much stuff where I was like well past like the point of like where the game needed me to be. So I did that. The boss for the plains was like this, like it's like this dead king. It kind of looks like that one Dark Souls boss where you fight him in the dark and it's like the big ass skeleton with the 2 hands. And it's just like him and his 2 hands in his head. It's literally just like a big old skeleton, but it's like upper body. So that's kind of what he was. And it was super cool because it was like super elemental stuff. So that and then what does he drop? I think he drops stuff to get you to the Ashlands, which was the first DLC or content drop for the game, which I think all content drops for the game are free, which is fucking awesome. So you get to the Ashlands, which is not the Ashlands, no, the Mistlands. You get to the Mistlands. You get to the Mistlands, and it's fucking misty as shit. You can't see anything. The place is infested with dwarves. I killed so many of those little fuckers. There's bugs everywhere. Literally, I was just like scorch earth the whole place. At first, I was like, okay, maybe I can be friends with these dwarves. And then I saw that they had like a little box, and I was like, what do you got in the box? But they wouldn't let me open it without them getting mad. So I was like, I'm just gonna start killing you guys. And I became a dwarf murderer pretty quick. What they have, which I think this is super cool. Yeah, what's in the box? Frosted Flakes. I can't say that. I can't say the rest of that. What was cool about the Mistlands? Okay, so this is where the devs started really fucking cooking, because at the end of, or what the game has been getting you used to is like, okay, each biome has a unique metal and you get your gear. Mistlands didn't do that. What they did is they're like, okay, Y'all motherfuckers playing with your sword and shield. We're not gonna do that anymore. This content drop, you're gonna be fucking mages, and you're gonna be fucking fire blasters. So what it focused on was mage sets, spells, like glass cannons. Like it was such a cool flip of like because at usually what they kind of want you to do is use a sword and shield. There's 3 different shields. Like, come on, the game's not. The game really wants you to use a shield. But they started introducing mages and mage builds, and I was like, okay, like there's a magic system now. Like, what is going on? Like, what? And that's kind of what like the content was focused around. Sorry. It's like 12. It's 12:08 in the morning, so I'm still kind of. I you get your fucking chunk of wood and you get your stick. It's gonna be a classic no matter what. But I wasn't expecting there to be a magic system, and I was like okay, like they have upgraded sword and shield builds, but they started introducing spells, mage armor, special special workbenches specifically for your mages and for your mage builds. And I thought it was fucking awesome. So that's kind of how that worked. And then the boss there, because the whole place is like infested with bugs, obviously you're gonna fight a queen. Okay, that's kind of like you can't have a bug infestation and not fight the queen. That's kind of like that. That's heresy, If you didn't have it, that would be heresy. So that's kind of how that worked. The bug was super cool because you fight it in a misty like dungeon, and you could barely see the boss until it's like right in front of you, and this thing's fucking massive, and you can like hear it's like scuttling in the mist like as you're fighting it. And because what it'll do is it'll go underground and it'll spawn in a random spot in the arena, but since you can't see 10 feet in front of you, like all you hear is the scuttling around. And I was like, holy shit, this is intense. Like I felt the intensity. So there's that. And then from there, the next biome is the Ashlands, which it kind of sounds what you think it is. It's a volcano. It's a fucking jungle biome. All right, it's called the Ashlands. It's a jungle biome. No, it's a fucking volcano biome. All right, there's lava everywhere, and okay. Let me put something in here real quick. I loved the biome, and I absolutely hated it. Okay, so I loved it because to get there, you have to cross boiling water. You need to make a drakkar. You know what a drakkar is? It's a fucking cool ass boat. You have to make a drakkar to get there. That's the only boat that will let you get there. It is an end game boat. It's the last boat you make because there's like 3 different boats you can make. So you make it because it's heat resistant, and so you have to sail the boiling waters, and then. What was super fucking cool that I didn't expect was the biome in the water. It's like these there was like jagged rocks. Like you ever seen Avatar: Last Airbender when Sokka's doing the boat ritual or the rite of passage? So it was basically doing that to get to the biome that you need to get to. And so but the boat is massive. This is not a small boat. This is a boat fit for like 12 people. It's a big ass boat. And so you have to navigate the waters. You have to navigate through the rocks so you don't get hit. And then you have to make it onto the land. And this is the part that I hate. This is the part I could not handle about the Ashlands. Okay, I get it. It's an end game place. There's lava everywhere. Why the fuck is there like 30 enemies on my ass the entire time? I don't know. I don't know if Valheim Plus was doing that or that's just a vanilla game. Like I said, I played with modded, but I didn't mess with any spawns. For anything, I tried to decrease the amount of enemy spawns, but I couldn't figure that out. So let me tell you how my brain was working when I was doing this. Okay, so whenever I would be in the Ashlands, my brain was always like the brain. Okay, normal brain activity. This is resting brain activity. When I was in the Ashlands, that shit was always up here. It was always just run, 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 battle, 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 intense, intense. Shit's happening all the time, and I couldn't like really build anything because I'd build like 2 or 3 walls, skeletons on your ass. And I'm like, okay, well, let me get rid of the spawner. Okay, got rid of the spawner. Here's 3 vultures. Oh, what's that? Oh, here's 4 more. Here's a Morgan. Oh shit! Hey, your boat. There's 2 serpents attacking your boat. Oh, also there's 3 more. There's 3 more vultures. I'm just like, okay, I get it. This place is dangerous, but why are you like swarming these enemies on me when I'm just trying to build my house? I was literally seeing group of enemies spawn in front of me, like 10, 15 feet in front of me. And so I was like because my brain was up here, my play session started to deteriorate because I was getting so mentally exhausted from how much enemies there was, where I was like, by the time I got to the Ashlands, probably like midway of my experience of my Ashlands, I started mentally checking out because I was like, dude, like it's just shit happening all the time. And like, I know I kind of sound like I'm exaggerating it or like kind of dramatic, but like I was like immersed in my game, and I was just always like, oh my god, there's shit going on. I felt like I was like being suffocated. Like I couldn't do anything because there was always enemies attacking me, and I don't know why there were so many. There was just so many, and I started complaining on stream. I was like, dude, like I feel so exhausted. Like I can't. I was low key. It was kind of overwhelming just because of how much shit was going on. Eventually, got to a point where sorry. Eventually, got to a point where I was just running. I wasn't even fighting anymore. I literally just because with epic loot you can put enchantments on your armor. So I had a bunch of like speed and stamina enchantments. And so I was able to outrun the enemies, but like at that point, I'm not engaging with the biome anymore. I'm just kind of like I'm just running past them, and like I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, like if I was playing this vanilla, like how worse would it be if they're just on my ass all day? And so that's kind of what that was. Is that like I don't know what was going on, but it was just so much fucking enemies. But the Ashlands was super cool though. I really enjoyed it. I was able to. I defeated the boss. Okay, so this is me and Xavier. We're talking about this. I've said Xavier a few times. He's one of my good friends. He's always in chat. I think he's in here right now. He's probably just doing something else. And of course, you got Bilbo Jones. Shout out Bilbo Jones. Bilbo Jones, a real one. We're talking about our butt plugs in Final Fantasy 14 earlier. It's pretty great. Check out the video. I'm also gonna post that too. Okay, so the boss, you defeat the boss. It's like this big old like 4-legged creature thing. I don't know what to call it. It was yeah, the crystal butt plugs. But you defeat the boss, and then I thought, okay, so my thing was like, I was sitting there and I was like, is this like it's like, you ever finish an open world like a survival game, you defeat the final boss and you're just like, now what? Like, at least for a survival game that like has bosses or like a story, like you sit there and you're just like, now what? Like, what do I do? And the thing is with Valheim is there's one more content drop that's still being made or there's more content being made. There's one more big biome drop, because that's how the content has rolled out, is through biome. So it went Mistlands, Ashlands, and then the Deep North is going to be the last one. So technically, like, I'm playing on a build of the game that isn't done yet, and so the story doesn't end at the Ashlands boss. So after I defeated the boss, no cutscene, no little crow telling me where to go next. I was just sitting there and I was just like, now what? Now what do I do? And like, I was like, oh. But like, with that same line of thinking, how does Ark fall into that? So Ark, their story is they take you through all 4 maps. On the last map, there's you defeat the boss, and then they take you to you like basically leave the system, because with Ark, it's like each map has a story to it, and if you ever picked up the journals in Ark, like the survivors that were there before, their stories follow through multiple maps. And that's kind of like the story of Ark, where you start piecing things together through the people who've been there before. And then you get to the end. I think it's called Extinction. I think it's the map. You get there, and then it gets to a point, and then you defeat the final boss, and then they have like an ending cutscene. Like they actually have like dialogue in an ending cutscene. And so that's kind of where that's different. Whereas in Valheim, like I defeated the boss, and it was just like, okay, now what? And so that's kind of what happened. And I know it's just because like the game's not done. You know, they're still coming out with the Deep North, so that's kind of why that's there. Okay. So that's how kind of like the progression works. That's how like the main jumping points. So let me go. Oh, I apologize. I don't know where that came from. So let me tell you kind of like my gripes with it, but kind of not really. Okay. 4. Okay. So with the combat, I like it and I hate it. I like it because you can fucking parry. I think that shit's fun as fuck. Xavier, this entire playthrough, he was like, you should use a tower shield. You should use a serpent shield. That shit's sick as fuck. And I was like, nah, I'm going to use a buckler all the way through. And I did. There was some points where I would use a tower shield. I did not like it. I did not. I had a sword. I had a buckler. Fuck with me. I had a fuckler. That's why I started calling it a fuckler. So what's super nice about Valheim was that like the combat was either like you have like a bow, or you could do like a scythe, you can do sword, a great sword, you can do like a sword and shield. I did sword and shield. I did a fuckler. I thought just parrying everything was fun as fuck. I don't know why it was so satisfying, because when you parry an enemy, it's an instant stun, and then when you hit them while they're stunned, you do like double damage, or depending on what your like parry multiplier is, you'll do like double damage, double and a half, triple damage. Just kind of depends. And so I was doing that for the longest time. But here's the thing that I did not like about Valheim combat. Parrying is parrying. I love parrying in any game. Okay, so the thing with combat, I might have to show you. Okay. So the thing with combat is, I think, is the limitation of the game or the creator or the engine. So let's say I swing. So let's say I'm sitting here. My character swings the sword. And I don't know, it might not be like, no, it is a limitation, because how it works is like your sword is an actual hitbox. It's not just a cone in front of you. Your sword is an actual hitbox. And so it actually has to make contact for it to work. The thing is, though, is because of inclines, demonetized, use of a dangerous weapon. YouTube, it's not sharp. Not sharp. Okay. So the sword has to actually like make contact, which I was like, okay, cool. Like I learned that you kind of have to do that. Okay. So the thing is though, is if you're on an incline and an enemy is either above you or below you, your guy will always swing forward no matter what. So if an enemy is above me, nope, I'm hitting the ground in front of me. If they're below me, I'm swinging above their head. And like like you can't the problem was not that you weren't hitting them. The problem is I can't move my reticle down where I'm swinging like this now. It was always forward. It always defaulted to like chest level. Dude, I didn't realize how fucking heavy that sword is. You hear me? I'm out of breath. And so that's kind of what the problem was, is that because actually I started working out again, all right? So I don't want to hear it. No, well, that I've been talking for however long this has been. All right. I need one of those gummies. Those fucking dick pills. Okay, so your character will always default to swinging at the same level. I downloaded a mod that fixed that, which again, I downloaded hella mods. But I ended up like to where you actually could move your sword. So like it wouldn't look like it, but like your actual hitbox of the sword would either be low or high depending on where you're looking. And this, like, it fixed everything, but like, again, I think like if you're playing this vanilla, like, how does that work? You know, like do you go on the incline? Do you try to find like equal footing? Okay, so there's that, which ties into the next thing that I was really struggling with. Not really struggling with, I just found it really annoying. Which is like, it's going to be the dumbest thing because it's literally in every game. The fucking stamina. I don't know what it is, but I didn't feel like the stamina was a stamina bar. I started thinking like, okay, this is no longer a stamina bar. I feel like this is a valuable resource. Because of how the game plays. Everything uses stamina. You want to sleep in your bed? Stamina. You want to cook your food? Stamina. Oh shit, what's that? You want to regen your stamina? Stamina. I mean, every game does that, but for whatever reason, like I felt like Valheim did it. Oh, like I felt I don't know. I was always low in stamina, and I struggled because like there's so many like stamina. You're gonna need stamina for that. I'm gonna need stamina to say that. Okay, so what ended up happening was I was like, okay, because stamina is so valuable, I got to think how can I best maximize it. So you can get a resting bonus, which if you stand in your house for like, I think 15 seconds, and depending on how much like rest items you have, you can have resting bonus, which will give you, I think like either 50 or 100% stamina regen for however long your resting bonus is, which is, I think by end game, you'll probably be at like 30 minutes. Okay. But if you get wet, you have less stamina regeneration. If you lose your resting bonus, you have less stamina regeneration. Okay. if you have heavy armor, you don't move as fast. And if you try running away in combat, that uses stamina. Okay. Fighting, of course, that's going to use stamina. But by the time you're done mopping up like 3 enemies, you're out of stamina. And this is someone who had food. I'm going to get to the food because the food is a whole different topic. But this is someone who had food that made their stamina go to like above 150 to like 200. It was like more like 200. I don't know why, but stamina usage was fucking bonkers. Okay, I wish you luck. If I'm offline, I will be online tomorrow. I miss you already. Keep on butt plugging. That's the best advice I can give you. Okay, so stamina above 150, probably like 200, but I don't know why. I don't know why. Like I never had any, and I don't know if it's just because I'm bad. I don't know what it was, but I felt like it got to a point where I was doing literally anything, and whenever I run out of stamina, I'd be like, "Oh, here we go! I'm out of stamina again," or like I would like grind my teeth, and I'd be like, "Fucking stamina." And it became like a big pain point for me, and I don't know why. Like I think it's just I'm bad, but I'm also like, why is my stamina always just running out? And so there was that. Okay, so there's that, and then there's like the health system, or the health and stamina system, where depending on the food you eat. Okay, so at first I didn't like this. First I didn't like how the system worked. Depending on how what kind of food you eat determines your max health and your max stamina, and your mana, depending if you're a mage build. But I wasn't. So there was like high quality foods that would give you like a shit ton of health, but a little bit of stamina, vice versa. And then there's like some like equalizer ones. So at first I didn't like this because I thought it was stupid, and I thought like why is my food decaying while I still have it in my slot? Like I would eat it, it lasts 30 minutes, 15-minute mark. Okay. Oh my goodness. 15-minute mark comes up, and it's like, okay, your food is not as effective, which makes sense. You're digesting it. There's not as much in your stomach. So there was that. But I apologize. I'm kind of like, I'm needing to kind of refocus after I yawn, because like I've been talking for a while. I'm just trying to cover everything. It's very all over the place. I know that this is unscripted. I don't have a script. It's literally just me talking off the top of my head. Okay. So at first I hated the food system, and then I started like learning all these new foods. I started building my kitchen. I started like really making all the foods, and I was like, wait, this food system is actually fucking sick, because then there's these super high value foods where I got to a point where I wasn't using some of them because I would save them for a boss fight. And like the serpent stew was one, and then some of the end game foods that require you to use like the not the bladders, but the meat from like the green 4-legged things, and then the vultures. So like all those foods. So I started making all those foods, and then stamina wasn't becoming much of an issue. But again, like for me, stamina will always be an issue because I was always low on it, and I have no clue why. I think what it was is that I would sometimes get wet, and then because of just rain, and then I would get what is it? I would get my resting bonus would go away, and it kind of irked me a little bit because I felt like the resting bonus was too good not to have, and so I kept thinking like, okay, resting bonus is gone, let me go home. Okay, let me get my resting bonus. Let me go back. And it started getting kind of annoying because I felt like I always needed it. And so I felt like my character was just severely crippled without it. Um, so that's kind of how that experience was. I wasn't the biggest fan on it, but uh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, why I hated it so much. Um, but that's kind of what it was. Another thing I absolutely annoyed the shit out of me was the fact that your character does not know how to pick up their legs. Okay, fucking slightest incline, stairs. Your character will not pick up their fucking leg to step over it. If it's like, it's not like the actual stair building structure. If it's like a half pillar, your character just won't pick up their leg, and you have to jump to get over it. I'm like, dude, literally just like add like a minor vaulting or add like a mounting type of system to it where I can fucking go over this fucking pillar. You know, it's like a step. It's literally like just bah. You know, just I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. I really don't know why it pissed me off so much, but it pissed me the fuck off. I know, right? We said we're gonna get off like 2 hours ago, and then we ended up doing a whole ass Valheim review. Well, freeform review. Anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of what that ended up being. I don't know why just these small things were pissing me off so much, because I was absolutely loving the game, but like, and then whenever those things would come up, I'd be like, dude, how is this not a thing? Like I would immediately, it would just immediately send me whenever anything like that would happen. I don't know why, but that's just kind of what was going on. Damn, I don't know what else. I think that's a lot of everything. That I can think of that I really liked about Valheim and was like not really the two like biggest fan of. Because I mean, when I do these reviews, I usually do them in a way where it was my experience. It wasn't more of like objective, like this is the game, this is what the mechanics are, this is how it is. Like it's more of just like kind of just like my own experience and kind of like how it went. That's kind of what, and like honestly, it's a lot of like my own like documentation of my experience too. That I just post up on YouTube, and so that's kind of what that is. I really can't think of anything else, to be honest. Again, I do want to say I did mod it quite a bit, where even epic loot on its own is such a substantial change. Where like you almost are playing a different game, where you're playing like a different game with a different set of rules in the Valheim sandbox. And so again, a lot, and again, it's crazy. I still had stamina problems, and I had epic loot, which is goated for stamina enchantments. But overall, I really fucking love Valheim because I really love. Honestly, I think the biggest thing what I really loved about it was the progression. I think their progression and how they did it and how they gear you towards the next thing, the next biome, the next boss, you know, the next set of gear. I think how they did it was amazing. I was never lost. I always knew what to do. I always knew where to go. I always knew what was like. I was constantly like, I was always wanting to, like, I was always making plans. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. It wasn't ever like I'm gonna log in. All right, what do I need to do? I always knew what was going on. I'm going to bed, wake up, and stream will still be going. No, I'm kind of wrapping up this review right now. I'm probably gonna go to bed here too, and then I will be on tomorrow for Ultra Kill. So that's kind of what that is. This review was even, honestly, it wasn't even supposed to happen. I just got like super motivated while we were talking, and I was like, I've been wanting to do this for a while too. I just been kind of waiting for the little conversation jumpstart. So yeah, I'm gonna be on tomorrow, probably around like 5:30ish, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then I'll probably just be on all night because I don't work 4th of July. So that's kind of what that is. As for the Valheim review, I'm gonna call it right there. Overall, fucking love the game. The progression was amazing. The art style, very, very, you have to be ready for the art style. It's very pixelated, very like untextured. I wouldn't say untextured, but it's not like Minecraft pixelated. It's like old, like it's like Ocarina of Time. Honestly, that's actually a really good comparison now that I think about it. The game plays like the combat plays like Ocarina of Time. And Stardew Valley, dude, we can't go into Stardew Valley right now. That'd be something I have to finish the Valheim. Hold on, let me finish the Valheim. It looks like it looks like Ocarina of Time. It plays like Ocarina of Time. And so you kind of have to really be prepared for that pixelated look and for like the indie game it is, which I freaking love. I mean, that's it for this video. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I love you. It's been like a while just because Valheim took I think like a month and a half to play. But we're gonna be getting on shorter games. So that's kind of so hopefully I'll be able to get more reviews out. And then other than that, love you. I got to redeem for a duck gobble. That's gonna be the end. Cool. YouTube video done. As for the stream part, yeah, I'm going to bed. It's 12:40 in the morning. I'm gonna pull that segment video from the clip tomorrow. I'm gonna upload all that stuff, and then I'm gonna play some video games. Gotta get through work though first. Oh wait, I actually might get home later. I actually might be on more like 7 p.m. Pacific time. So, alrighty. Well, I'm a dip out. I'm gonna go to sleep. I hope you have a good sleep too, man. Thanks for swinging by. Thanks for sticking by. Thanks for chilling and telling me I'm ass at Ultra Kill, because I am. I barely started playing it today. It's like, yeah, you're pretty ass. No problem. All right. Peace out, brother.